Hey, hey. Let's see, my live. I believe so. Let me pull this up on my end and mute it. There we go. Okay. Let me move this. All right. Very quickly, I'm not gonna get right into it. Is USDD the next Luna or Luna 3.0, if you want to call it that? To not hold you up with suspense, no, I don't think so. And I'm gonna give you a couple reasons why. And we're just gonna go through it. Let's see if I can. I don't know if I can share my actual screen here. But while I'm trying to figure all of that out, let me just say, stablecoins have come a long way from their inception. Justin Sun, the founder of the Tron network, and the Tron network is who is putting out the USDD. He's been around for a long time, and I really feel like he's a kind of a savvy player in this. But if you want to go back to the original stable coins, you got to remember, let's call them stable coins 1.0, as Justin Sun will put it. He's trying to bring in this stable coin 3.0. But stablecoin 1.0 was essentially stable coins that didn't have their own local blockchains, and they were completely reliant on Bitcoin. And they took, on average 30 minutes, and at times it could cost up to $100. Stablecoins 2.0, or the USDT tether that you see on the TRC20 blockchain, which is the Tron blockchain, is something that you can count as, 2.0, or you can count that as the next version of the stable coins. It had its native blockchain, and Tron is fast and cheap, so you didn't have those long delays and exorbitant fees. The stablecoin that he's trying to introduce, as he would put it in his own words, stablecoin 3.0, is decentralized in the aspects that it purely runs on blockchains. When you look at what happened with Luna, the liquidity, well, let's backtrack a little bit. If you look at what happened with Luna, somebody offered him some Bitcoin below market value, allegedly. And this is stuff that should be able to be verified on the blockchain. I just read different stories. I haven't deep dived into it, but it should be there if this is what happened. But he was purchased Bitcoin below market value from someone, and those people immediately sold USDT. And it, that began to spiral how it began to lose its peg. Now, he had Bitcoin in reserve, but he had to manually sell it. He had to I think, unload it on Gemini and a couple other things. That doesn't matter. But instead of a few seconds, a few minutes, and he had to go through a multi-sig wallet, probably calling people in the dead of night. Like, it was just a lot of parameters that made him the central point of failure. And so when you get into that, and when you get into that particular aspect of it, you can see why this thing failed. They had the most Bitcoin, they had more Bitcoin than Tesla, but they weren't able to exchange it and they weren't able to keep the peg because of the time. What Justin Sun is trying to usher in, or trying to build, is more of a system that runs through the Tron DAO. For those who don't know, Justin Sun is the founder, but he he stepped down to become a permanent representative to the WTO for the country of Grenada. And in doing so, he said that he stepped down and he dissolved the Tron Foundation, but the Tron Foundation became the Tron DAO. So it's not a shadowy mystery company or anything like that. It's a company that's, it's the Tron Foundation. But ultimately, what he's wanting to do is have what I talked about yesterday on the roundtable discussion, is have the trustless, permissionless system. If he had those reserves in place and it just went through an exchange, I mean, the Tether is already on its blockchain. If something like that were to happen, it could just easily swap it out on its own blockchain. Another point that Justin Sun tried to point out, or, of course, this is what he's going to do, because the thing that you kind of, in the eyes of the crypto community, copied and pasted, this is, of course, you're going to do your PR. You're going to say, this is why it failed, this is how it's failed. But I mean, essentially, what he was building initially, even before the failure, was something that was not like how Luna was set up. And you also have to realize that Tron holds a significant amount of stable coins themselves. I don't see if I can. Okay, yeah, this is my share screen. Okay, I got to go through some preferences. Okay, I'll make sure I have that all next time. But if you go to tronscan.com, the TVL is over $11 billion. Since I started talking about Tron and Tulip Mania, when I first came on, it was around, I think, number 25, and now it's number 13. And in the top 10, most of those are stable coins, which I do feel like the USDD will gain on in a year or so. But Tron is, again, not a newbie. It's not something that's never done this before. And even when they talk about the interest rates, I don't know if okay, I'm still on there. Even when we talk about the interest rates of getting 30% for staking single tokens on the Tron network, that's not a far-fetched thing. If you've been in the ecosystem before, or you've seen, they have 3 pools out there, which is a combination of Tether, True, and USD coin. You hold all 3 of those in the liquidity pool, and they were already doing 20% plus interest a year ago. But Tron holds, like I said, again, Tron holds a significant amount of stable coins on there already that are centralized. But to be honest, I hold more Tron. I'm not too much caught up in getting into USDD, honestly, myself. I hold Tether when I do some trades, but I'm not really interested in it. A sleeper coin that you might not know about in the Tron ecosystem is Sun, and you earn that by doing the swaps and exchanges through there. But I don't think that you'll get to a point where somebody will try to go through back channels and buy some Bitcoin and then get their peg knocked off and then crash both, 2 different coins and an ecosystem. Justin Sun talks about major blockchain players being in there, like Almeida Research, Amber, Poloniex, Anchor, Morana. And the difference is the super representatives in there will likely bear the brunt of pegs being lost. And that's how they're trying to set it up. But again, it's just not something that I'm interested in. It is not something that I think will fail. And I actually think that it'll do pretty well long term, because I feel like the rollout of it is going to be a lot slower than what Luna proposed to do and did. And then again, Tron is already its own blockchain. It's already doing this. It's just doing it more in an aspect to make it decentralized, and not in name, but in just an effort to, it has a trustless system that can seamlessly go about through it. Going back to Tron holding a lot of those stable coins that I was talking about, I think there's about 77 billion USDT Tether out there, and Tron holds 38 0.7 billion. There's 51 billion USDC out there, and Tron holds about 3 billion. And True USD, I think they hold about 378,000 according to my notes I'm looking at over here. But again, you're going to see this kind of play out everywhere, like how Luna was. Luna was on all the exchanges, OKCoin, KuCoin, crypto.com. It was everywhere, and the USDD is popping up everywhere too, with the 20% the 30% APY for a year, which again, for a stable coin, yeah, that's kind of high. But for Tron, if you've been around the ecosystem for the past 3 or 4 years, you've seen higher. And if you go on sun.io, that's where you actually do some of the staking on the Tron blockchain itself. You'll see other liquidity pairs on there as high as 68, 79, 34, and higher. And it's pairs that you can get in and out. You don't have to stake them for 4 or 5 years or anything like that. There's going to be more pools for liquidity, of course, coming up on the blockchain. But again, like I said, it's not something that, from the experience that I've had with Tron, dealing with Tron, being on that blockchain since about 2018, or dealing with it since 2000, really dealing with 2019, everything on there works as advertised. As far as it being risk-free, no, there's no such thing as risk-free. But I'm confident that the interest rates will probably begin to go down, because the interest rates on those tend to fluctuate from time to time. When some of those pools first get out, they're higher than 100%. I talked about on the last video when they were rolling out more of the Tron ecosystem, giving out 5-to-1 rewards. Some of the interest rates on there was like 400% and 500%. It only lasted a day or two, but it was to get liquidity into the pools. And when it was in there, they raised the price to something that was a little bit more stable. And they did an airdrop for almost a year. Like, you could set your watch to it. It was coming. So I don't think that USDD is Luna 3.0. The growth of Luna, how Luna got valued so quickly, and how it shot up, and it got in the top 20 as quickly as it did, doesn't have a product. I mean, it has an ecosystem behind it, but does it still have a product? Again, with Tron, they've been into the stable coins, and the thing about Justin Sun getting integrated into the WTO through the country of Grenada, you're going to start seeing him rub elbows with world governments, and world governments are talking about CBDCs. And one of his goals is to get CBDCs on an actual blockchain, his blockchain, of course. And when you get into that, when you get into utility from a world government aspect, I don't think that those type of, I don't think that it's set up to fail in that regard. I don't think it's set up to be a rug pull. I do feel like how he's rolling it out, because the actual blockchain that it's going to be on is not actually coming out until November. So for the next couple of months, it's just going to have to be something that you wait and see. It came out a couple of weeks ago, almost a month ago, and I don't quite think it's reached $1 billion yet. I know it's over $500,000. And I mean, it's going to continue to grow. So again, very quickly, I just wanted to drop that. I want to go back to pre-recording my videos and getting them out, just trying some things out. Like, share, subscribe to the Gentlemen of Crypto podcast. The podcast and the YouTube channel. I'm gonna look through these comments right quick. Let's see. Luna is wrecked. I'm not messing with it. Jim Rat Crypto. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. No matter how many new blockchains released, they're wrecked. I mean, again, we talked about it yesterday. Competition. What was it? The WEF and the world governments had forums hosted, and they were talking about including CBDCs into different countries and increasing competition. Not gonna lie, Tron has been decent blockchain to use. People hate just the same, but its projects have always worked as far as crypto. Yeah, I feel the same way. I didn't know anything about Just the Sun before I even started using Tron, so I was completely blind to all of the bullshit that he did. And I mean, it's a lot of crazy shit. I granted, I give you that, but this shit work, man. Shit works. It works. There's a new two pool, USDD and USDT. Oh, I don't know why I read that as like Luna's talking. Yeah, they're gonna do 2 pools, 3 pools, and then they have the single staking themselves. Again, you can go on sun.io, you can go on JustLend, you can go on Curve, Hubie, Ellipsy, Qcoin, and you're gonna see it. You're gonna see this coin everywhere. Let's see if I got anything else. I don't think USDD is an issue. Tether is more of an issue. That's a decent point. I look at Tether as one of those too big to fail kind of coins. And if you remember, when Luna lost its peg, or when the Luna stablecoin lost its peg, Tether briefly lost its peg too. And the Tron DAO pumped. I had a tweet up here. I can't share my screen. It's not on here now. But the Tron DAO released, or they burned about, I want to say 200 million, or at least it was at least 100 million USDT, or maybe not burned. Burn might be the wrong word. But when that Tether lost its peg, Tron DAO went into effect because it had a smart contract. And it kind of helped stabilize the Tether. It didn't destabilize too. So Tether might be an issue going down the road. And again, he's trying to build a decentralized stablecoin, but his network is backed by centralized assets. So when I hear him say decentralized, I think to me, it means more of the blockchain technology itself, not necessarily completely trustless, because again, the Tron DAO is the former Tron Foundation, so it is what it is. But again, shout out to the gentlemen of crypto, shout out to the weekend warriors and the everyday warriors. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell a friend, and I will be back next weekend with more on Tulip Mania. Deuces.